Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So today it is time for another in my series of stack status videos. This is where I talk about the stacks of books that I'm currently working on, and I discuss what I have recently read, what I'm currently reading, and my TBR of the immediate future. So we're just going to dive right in and try to keep this video a little shorter. So, what have I recently finished? I have recently read The Negotiator by Avery Flynn. This is the first book in the Harbor City series, and it's the first book I've ever read by Avery Flynn, she said super confidently. I actually quite enjoyed this book. It was a fake dating contemporary romance. We follow Clover and Sawyer. He is this like billionaire workaholic who his mother is like a socialite and wants him to not work so much and get married, find love, settle down, and he is just like determined for his business to succeed and has a big deal coming up, so he is really just like not wanting to deal with his mother. And so his brother, kind of as a joke, puts out an ad for a personal buffer to help kind of keep the matchmaking mama at a distance, and that's where Clover comes in. And Clover is this like adventurous, spunky chick who's like, sure, like she's always just wants to like go on the next adventure, and so she just kind of goes from job to job to make money to finance those adventures. And so Clover kind of takes this weird sounding job just because she thinks it's going to be kind of easy, and she's like, I can be a buffer. And then they kind of have to fake date, fake relationship, and hijinks ensue. It is steamy, and I don't really feel like there was any major trigger warnings. There was sort of secondary character like hospitalization and like one random alcohol fueled like binge, but there's not really any other major issues that I can recall. It does follow a lot of these tropes like fake dating and billionaire versus not billionaire and like sort of the very like stoic stuck up kind of guy versus the like laid back adventurous character. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars just because even though I really enjoyed it and it was going to be like a 4-star, I kind of promptly forgot about this. Like I actually just was looking at my Goodreads and I thought, I just finished this book 8 days ago, and I remember like nothing about it. I had to go look up the main characters' names and everything. So I was like, that's kind of weird. But I really did enjoy it while I was reading it, so I want to read more by Avery Flynn. So the second book that I'm going to talk about that I have recently finished is The Shadow Rising, which is not in here right now, but is part of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. It is the 4th book. This book is like 1,000 pages long. And that's not a joke. I think it is 1,007 pages long. And I had a voice chat with my friends that I have met doing the read along of Wheel of Time. And we had a Discord chat that was scheduled for Sunday at 3. And at Friday at like 8 p.m., I was on page 460 or something. So basically that was my entire weekend. Other than like a couple hours of Among Us with my friends and my sister, like was just me trying to work on this book and listening to the audiobook. And I managed. I have finished it. I didn't quite finish it in time for that chat, but almost. I was very close. And it was a good book. I feel like it kind of mirror images the third book. In the third book, we have everyone all the plot lines starting in separate areas, and then by the end of the third book they all come together. And in the 4th book it's like the opposite. Everyone starts all together in tier, and then we kind of follow 3 distinct plot lines as the characters kind of go off in these 3 different directions. There was a lot of like lore and world building and visions and dreams in this book that I think are going to really kind of set a good atmosphere, and also I think it's going to come into play in the future books. So I think I rated all of these books 5 stars, just because I don't know how to like if I invest that much time and effort and mental energy in these books, and also like it's just not my like major wheelhouse, I feel like I'm enjoying them and really liking them, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give them 5, even though maybe technically like arbitrarily shouldn't, you know, objectively there is things that maybe should not give it a 5, but I'm going to give The Shadow Rising a 5-star. Come at me. So what am I currently reading? Actually, I am currently reading only one book because I worked so hard to finish The Shadow Rising. I have not started another book. I'm working on one and I have like 10, 20 plus lined up, but like at this exact moment, I'm only currently reading one book. And that one book is The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I am doing a buddy read with this book with Izzy from Happy For Now and Megan from Meowth Vader. Both of them are awesome. Izzy is rereading this. This is a reread for me and it is Megan's first time. So we have a little just, you know, chat going and that's been great. So I've really enjoyed like sinking it back into this book. The world is so atmospheric. Like part of it takes place, most of it takes place in Prague right now, but there are also these hints at this otherworldly element. I'm really enjoying this reread. I feel like the writing is really evocative and I'm just, there's fantasy and there's like darker undercurrents too, and there's like wishes and magic and monsters and angels and devils, and it's really great. So I am thoroughly enjoying The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. This is the first book in a trilogy, and I think the plan is for all of us to read the whole trilogy together, and I cannot wait. Because I have way more memories about book 1 than I do about book 2 and book 3. Little snippets from 2 and 3 are showing up, and I think I remember how the whole thing ends, but most of 2 and 3 are just a big blank, so I'm really looking forward to finishing those. So since I only gave you one currently reading book, I'll talk about 3 in my TBR stack. So I am planning on reading, upcoming, The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This is a contemporary romance. I don't really know that much about it. I think like the main character doesn't know her father. Her father is estranged. He's not really her father. I don't know. She goes to Alaska. Maybe it's not even a love story, but I'm like quite sure it is a romance. I'm reading this because it is the first choice for the Sugar and Spice book club, which is a book club that a couple of my BookTube friends have started. I will leave links to that announcement down in the description, but you should follow Kirsten at Kirsten's Corner and Amanda at Ginger Snap Reads because they're the hosts or the creators of this Sugar and Spice book club. And the Simple Wild live show will be February 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I have until February 6th to finish this book, but I have the audiobook checked out from my library and I'm going to work on that this week. Also, the next book that I'm going to hopefully get to this week, because it is also a book club book, is Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. I have the physical book sitting on my couch, so Invisible Girl is by Lisa Jewell. It is, I think, a thriller. It is the Page Turner Book Club choice for January, and the live show discussion for this book will be January 31st at 8 p.m. EST. I cannot remember. I think it's on Jess's channel. Oh, if it's not, I will put the thingy here. I don't know very much about this book. I think, like I said, I think it's a thriller. I think if I'm remembering the back blurb correctly, one of the main characters is a like 30-year-old man who has never been in a romantic relationship, and he becomes like an incel after finding stuff on the internet. And I was like, is this gonna be something I'm going to enjoy? Maybe not, especially since then he is a suspect when a local teenage girl, like his neighbor or like down the street kid, this teenage girl goes missing, I think. So I am looking forward to this. I feel like I don't read that many thrillers, but they've been kind of hit or miss when I've done them, because I either can't predict anything and then I really enjoy it, or I do predict stuff and then I'm kind of like about it. So I'm looking forward to Invisible Girl. And the third book that I'm going to hopefully get to very soon is called Oona Out of Order, and the author is Margarita Montimore. Margarita Montimore. This book is a literary fiction book that I think maybe magical realism literary fiction, but this is a book that was chosen for one of my real life book clubs that is the first Wednesday of February, so I have to get on it soon. I don't know that much about this book either. I think I read the description right before I filmed this. I think it's about, the main character is Oona, and she's like turning 19 on New Year's Day, and she has big decisions to make. And then when she wakes up on her birthday, she's not 19, she's in her like 30-year-old self body, or even older. And so I think from the description, she lives a year of her life at these different ages, and every year on her birthday, she doesn't just age one more year, she jumps around in her life. And so I think she like learns life lessons because mentally she's still aging at the normal chronology. So this sounds right up my alley. I love the idea of like time travel. I love the idea of like getting a glimpse into your own future and kind of seeing how your life turns out. And I don't know how this is going to kind of, I assume it's literary fiction, so it's going to be mostly about how she learns more lessons about herself and how life works. But it might have a little bit of romance in it too. I assume if she ever has a, like a partner or a family, that like we would see glimpses of that. So yeah, I'm really excited for Oona Out of Order. It feels definitely more interesting to me than some of the other books that we've chosen for the book club. Cool. That's throwing a little bit of shade, but none of them watch my channel, so okay. So that's what I have for you for my stack status. We talked about what I have recently finished and my currently reading very tiny stack and my TBR stack, which is taller than I am. And yeah, so if you have heard of any of these books, or if you have enjoyed or hated any of these books, please leave that down in the comments. I would love to hear. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I like to read a kind of a variety of things, but I read a lot of romance. And yeah, if you have a book that you are really excited to get to coming out soon, let me know. I feel like I am not aware of the coming releases, soon to be released books. So if you have something that you're excited about, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. Bye!